All right, update successful. Let's see about this. There's my chat. All right, hello everybody. Welcome back to Paleontologizing. It's Danny and
Laurdee from Cooking with Laurdee.
Hope you're all having a great day so far. It is really great to see you here. Hope you can hear us okay. Let me check the volume rocker. Up. That's up, right? Yeah, there we go. That should be a lot better. Yeah, we are on. Hey, Seal Toad, how are you doing? Welcome back. Good to see you.
Nice to see you.
Who else have we got? Mr. Pop and DJ, Apocalypse, Abyss Arachnus, Mistrictian, how are you doing? Oh, you know what? Shoot, I forgot to change the stream title. Darn. Hang on a minute.
Do you want me to hold the camera?
That's the one thing we forgot. Yeah, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Let me change that real quick.
Why so quiet, Abyss? We are quiet because we are in a museum.
It is.
If you have trouble hearing us, please turn it up a little bit on your computer.
Yeah. All right. There we go.
So, how's everybody doing? It's really nice to see you all. We are here in Idaho Falls at the Idaho Museum of Idaho.
Museum of Idaho in Idaho Falls,
yes.
Idaho, USA.
Yeah, we're very excited to be here. We're standing right now outside the gift shop, waiting to go into the exhibits. We wanted to let a couple more people get in here and check in with you all, see how you all are doing.
Yeah.
You'll notice that we do have a sub goal at the bottom of the screen if anybody is interested. We are trying to support the stream, support our entrance fees, support our trip, things like that. So
anything
we're
you
always open.
Yeah, anything you can contribute, I'd really appreciate.
Yeah.
We'd both really appreciate. All right, I'm going to update our stream info real quick before we go in there. Let's see.
Producing a fossil hard
Okay, so
rock.
we are. Oh my gosh, Harissa Mapone, thank you so much for the 7-month subs.
Thanks, Harissa. Really appreciate that. How are you doing, by the way? Hope things are good.
Find the fossil makes the world of the dinosaur hunter.
Really appreciate that, Harissa. Thank you.
7 months of dinosaurs.
We drove into Idaho Falls just about an hour ago from Bozeman, Montana. Oh my gosh, Dark Apocalypse! 5 gift subs to community. Thank you so much. That helps us so much. The entrance fees, with meals, with gas,
Dark
all of that. Thank you very,
Apocalypse
very
just
much. We
changed things
appreciate
with those
that.
5 gift subs.
Thank you so much.
USA, okay.
Semi lurking, we're glad to see you. Thanks, Moss. It's really nice to see you too. I hope you're having a good one.
At the Museum of Idaho. Okay, I'm going to do this real quick.
Hi again, Powda. It's nice to see you. I hope you're having a good day. Let me say hi to everybody. Who all have we got here? We've got Mpop, we've got Belind, we've got Abyss. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's so nice to see you all. Timber, thanks for being here. Galar, it's so nice to see you. Everybody, thanks for being here. We really appreciate it. Last day of the week for me, so you're getting some writing in. Okay, Moss, nice.
Traveling outdoors. There we go. That should do it. We now updated the stream title successfully. Sorry, I gotta remember to do that in the future.
I'll try and remind you.
Yeah, thank you. It's my bad, but yeah. That and
That's really fun,
Here's Nick Chan. Okay,
Kirsten,
cool.
that you were watching Jurassic Park specials. That's really cool.
Oh, very nice. Yeah. And hey, Apocalypse. I'm glad you're here. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and journey up into the museum. We've got a really cool temporary exhibit to take a look at. I'm excited to show you. Here's the gift shop right here. We're walking past. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I guess first off, we're going to see Body World's Animals Inside Out, which is going to be pretty interesting. I don't know if you're familiar with like Body World's exhibits. It's usually human anatomy. This is going to be right up our alley here on Paleontologizing. Talking all about animal anatomy. Wow, it sounds like we've got some music up here. Alright, going up these stairs. I'm going to turn the volume down a little bit. Very cool. Wow. It says, Animal Inside Out. You're about to take a journey of discovery under the skin of some spectacular animals in their many perfect forms. Big, small, slight or strong, explore how their finely tuned insides make them what they are on the outside. These animals have all been preserved using the process of plastination, invented by Dr. Gunther von Hagens, creator of Body Worlds. Plastination provides the ability to capture the anatomy of each specimen, showing the fine detail of its real tissue. There's beauty in every feature, the reach of blood vessels, the length of bones, the incredible flexibility of a trunk, so take the time to look closely. What makes each animal unique, and what features do we all share? Pretty cool. Yeah. And, I think just as like a disclaimer right here at the beginning, it says, our ethical position, Animal Inside Out, a Body Worlds production, is made possible through cooperation with various veterinary programs, zoos, and animal groups. No animal was harmed or killed for this exhibition. Very interesting. And that's cool. It's a little reassuring to see. And right here, right off the bat, we've got some cephalopods here. Are these like Humboldt squid, I wonder? Check these out. Very, very cool. I said Humboldt squid like plural. This is the same one, just cut sagittally, I'm sure. Cut down right down the middle. Look at that. This right here is the mantle. So, cephalopods are a kind of gastropod. That name means like stomach foot. So like a snail or a slug. They've got all of their like internal organs, all their digestive stuff in that kind of like, what's called the mantle. It's like the big squishy part of the body. And in like a slug or a snail, it forms the part that actually contacts the ground, hence foot. But in gastropods that are, or mollusks, that are out in the ocean, it basically forms like the head. This is really cool. Take a look at this. I think you can actually see part of the beak right there. There's the mouth. And look at all of those suction cups along the tentacles and along the arms. Very cool. And since this was cut sagittally, that's so neat. It's got 4 tentacles on each side and 1 arm on each side. So, squid actually have, they've got 10 appendages, if I remember correctly. Yeah, they've got 8 tentacles and 2 arms. And the arms are these super long bits there. And that's what they use to reach out and grab their prey. They kind of slingshot these outward and then they grab fishes. They've got all these kind of hook-like, these suction cups on there. There's like little teeth. I wish I could show you up close, but I can't get quite that close. Okay, we're back on. Good.
Okay, awesome.
Let's see if I can find a way to... If I can clip these to here, that would
Hey, everybody, thanks for sticking with us.
Yeah. Okay, good. That's on there. Put this on here too. Nice and secure. Okay. There we are. Here, would you mind putting that in your pocket or something?
Yeah.
Thanks. All right. Thanks to the hard work and cleverness of Mrs. Ios. I think we've got this pretty much figured out. It turns out one of the connections on the live view is like really poorly done. So you've got to hold the cord at a certain angle to get it to actually work for the HDMI. So anyway, if it goes wrong like that, that's probably what's happening. Unless it's a like a cellular connection issue. Yeah, check out this squid right here. Holy cow. It's beautiful. Is this a Humboldt squid? What is this? 2 halves of the same squid here. That's a giant squid? Architeuthis?
Architeuthis.
Wow, okay. Giant squid, wow. Giant squid are actually the 2nd largest squid in the world. Does anybody know what the largest squid is?
Omega squid.
Look at that. Super cool. And these guys can actually change their color in life.
Well, like to what?
Like from red to like a dark gray, like black, to like white. Yeah. They have, what are they called? Chromatophores, I think? They've got these little color cells that actually like expand and contract.
That's so cool.
It's really, really neat, yeah. And there's certain cephalopods like mimic octopus. Well, they'll use that to like create stripes and patterns on themselves, and they'll like... You ever seen videos of that? Mm-hmm. It's really, really cool. Like they'll pretend to be like a stingray or a skate. They'll pretend to be a stingray. They'll pretend to be all kinds of stuff in order to dupe their predators.
Moss says colossal squid.
It is indeed the colossal squid, Miss Strictly, yes, that is the world's largest squid. This is fairly small for Architeuthis. I mean, obviously they don't start off huge. We talk all about ontogeny on this channel. Squids, you know, start off very, very small. But yeah, that's just super cool. And I love seeing those, like right there at the tip of the mantle, they've got those fins that they use for steering. Very, very cool. And they can also use them for propulsion too. They can kind of flap them in life. That's so neat. What a neat display. That is super, super cool. Wow. I'm so glad this exhibit was here when we came through. This is really neat. Oh, there's an octopus right here.
I love the way they...
I know, that's really cool how they mounted it like this.
What artistry goes into this?
Seriously, yeah. And I love how there's a mirror underneath, so you can see, you can look up the octopus's skirt, so to speak. Really cool. Octopuses are so neat. Yeah, it's like, they're so intelligent. It's just really strange to look at something that clearly like has some sort of self-awareness and problem-solving ability, and
almost all
and just realize that it's so different from us. This is something where our common ancestor with octopuses is probably like close to 1 billion years in the past. So yeah, there's like 2 billion years separating us from them. You can think of it as. That's kind of nuts. And these guys, I mean, it's weird because they are so intelligent, but they live very short lives. I think an octopus, they live like a couple years, or maybe like 5 years or something like that.
How long they live in captivity?
I think it's even shorter in captivity. But yeah, it's like all that gained experience and everything, and then they're just dead. It's kind of amazing. Most animals that are pretty smart live longer than that. Yeah, look at that. There's that mantle right there, like we see on the squid. Has no internal skeleton, and we all know that. Yeah, an invertebrate. Very cool. Very, very cool. And what kind of fish is this? Some kind of teleost fish. A carp, a grass carp. Oh, cool. Look at that. So this must be a thin section. I don't really see where I guess that's where the notochord would be, the backbone. You can kind of see some sense of ribs, but it's... Yeah.
It says even queen ants live 30 years.
Queen ants live 30 years? That's nuts. Yeah, usually, like, the general idea with most animals is, like, the larger they are, the longer they tend to live. That's, like, a very, very broad rule. So it's really strange that, like, an octopus would only live, like, less than half a decade. But even the biggest ones, like, I think the Pacific giant octopus, their max lifespan is something like 5 years or something. Yeah. I like these signs here. I'm going to read them real quick, if you don't mind. This is World of Animals. Animals are multicellular organisms that feed on organic matter and typically have specialized sense organs and a nervous system to respond to stimuli. Counting nearly 2 million known species, there's like 2 million species of insects that have been described. Anyway, that's an understatement. The animal kingdom is extraordinarily versatile. For more than 1 billion years, they've adapted to ever-changing environmental conditions, and in their fight for survival, have produced an immense diversity of lifestyles and a variety of habitats. Almost all of the largest and best-known animals are vertebrates, animals with a spine. However, they only account for less than 3% of all animals. The remaining 97% are the invertebrates, which we have seen here. Cephalopods, like that giant squid and this octopus, and this squid over here. Tuthida ordere I'm not familiar with this squid. This could be like a Humboldt squid.
Mr. Can says
Yeah?
it makes you wonder how they perceive the passage of time.
Yeah.
Which I just think it's really interesting, Moss. Yeah, you're right.
Like, do octopuses live in slow motion? I don't know. Look at that. And look at the size of that mantle. And look at the size of those fins on that mantle. This is nuts. Now, in the Sea of Cortez, between Baja California and Mexico, there are these squid called Humboldt squid. They look a lot like this. And the Mexican fishermen call them Diablos Rojos, like red devils. And there are stories of like fishermen being pulled to their deaths by these things. They are super, super fast. They're really aggressive, and they like. It almost seems like they hunt in groups, but they'll eat all kinds of different game fishes that the fishermen are after. And so fishermen don't like them very much, but they're becoming more and more common, it seems. With climate change, they're actually like expanding their range, and they could be all over the place. We could have them off the coast of San Francisco in a few decades, maybe, if things continue. That could be really bad news. But yeah, look at that. Really formidable animal. I wonder if we can see its beak. Oh, not quite. It's kind of covered up in there. But yeah, these guys have a pretty wicked beak. They use to dismember their prey. And look, if you look underneath, actually, right there, you can see the big siphuncle. So this is kind of like the jet propulsion exhaust of this animal. That's how they propel themselves through the water. Really cool. I love how there's a mirror down there. You can see this too. Neat stuff. Needlefish. Hey, Lordy, these might be related to the pipefish that I was telling you about yesterday. I kind of forget. But yeah, needlefish. Really cool. You can see where they get that name. Their mouth is like a set of needle-nosed pliers. Really cool. Yeah. Oh, and interesting, Mr. Rickton, you're probably right about that for Humboldt squid. Yeah. Air bladder. Yeah, look at this white bit right here. This is the swim bladder on a needlefish. So this is kind of like the ballast tanks on a submarine. So that's how fishes will actually control their buoyancy and move up or down in the water column. And that, in land-living vertebrates like us and tetrapods, that evolved to be the lungs. Here's some kind of chondrichthyan fish, some kind of shark probably. Yeah. Prionace glauca. I don't know what that kind of fish, what kind of shark that is. But that's very cool. You can see those cartilaginous vertebrae there. They look very different from our bony vertebrae. Super cool. Here's a cuttlefish. This is a huge cuttlefish. My goodness. Yeah, cuttlefish move primarily using their fins. That's why they've got such big ones. Look at that. Very cool. And I don't think that was a thresher shark. It did have a long tail, but it wasn't that long, Mr. Etienne. I don't know. Threshers have super long fins. Caudal fins. There's a sea snail. Man, that's weird. Look at that. And there's a scallop. I'm sure you've eaten those, Lordy.
Oh, yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah. So those are more closely related to things like those cephalopods that we just saw than to other things like, corals or other sessile organisms. They are mollusks. Look at this. What kind of shark is this? Is this a mackerel shark? Mako shark. Wow, cool. Really, really neat. I've always thought it was interesting that, with sharks, their mouth just kind of keeps going down into their body. It's just like an abyss. See those gills right there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gills. 5 is like the typical number for most sharks. But primitive sharks, like the 6-gill and 7-gill sharks, will have 6 or 7 gills. Really neat. Man, that is cool. Look at that. I love the position it's mounted in, too.
Yeah, it is.
That's so cool. Very cool, Mr. Ichthyne. Oh, you should show her the VOD. Yeah. This is really neat. I wonder if that is the famous lateral line. See that kind of like divot that's running all the way down through there? So sharks and other fishes have this sensory organ called a lateral line. And they can actually sense like vibrations in the water and other stuff using that on the side of their body. And I think that might be what that is right there. See that like that line that runs along the length of its body? Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Wow. That's so neat. And it's like baring its teeth like that. Yeah, so most of the time when they're swimming around, their jaws aren't projecting forward like that. But they actually have some kinesis there where their jaws can kind of go like the jaws move independently of the rest of the head. That's really pronounced in things like goblin sharks. But yeah, if you've ever seen like slow motion footage of a white shark as it's like breaching and like trying to bite, its jaws kind of move independently of the rest of its head. It's really cool. Yeah. Pretty neat. Oof, big old lobster there. Spiny lobster.
In all the world,
I love that this talks a little bit about homology.
An anonymous gifter.
Holy cow! Anonymous gifter, thank you so much. My goodness.
Five from anonymous.
5 gift subs? Yes. Really
Thank you so
appreciate
much,
that.
Anonymous. That really helps us out.
That's
We really
fantastic.
appreciate that.
That's really awesome. What's our goal for
Anonymous
today?
just
Is it
gifted 5
25?
I think it
subs.
was 25, yeah.
We are well on our way.
Yeah, we
That
just
is
got a rate
fantastic.
from Code Spells.
Oh, holy cow. Code spells, welcome, Raiders. Welcome to Paleontologizing. Let's go over to the light so people can actually see us. Do a quick introduction. But hey, everybody. Welcome to Paleontologizing. My name is Danny. I'm a dinosaur paleontologist. And
I'm Laurdee. I host Cooking with Laurdee. Usually I do cooking content, but right now I'm road tripping around, going to museums with Danny.
yeah, we are in the middle of this great big road trip going all around the American West, visiting different museums right now. And yeah, it's been pretty awesome. We're right here in Idaho Falls, Idaho right now. And we're at the Museum of Idaho. And they've got this really cool temporary exhibit called Body World's Animal something or other, but it's like the Body World's exhibits that you've probably seen elsewhere, but focus on non-human animals.
You're not
Which is
even a
super
good
cool.
liar.
You know, again, I'm a paleontologist. I work on dinosaurs. Paleontology is kind of a weird amalgam of geology and biology. I'm much more on the biological side of things, so I feel right at home around here. This is really cool, just seeing all this amazing biodiversity, and I'm so excited to be able to share it with you. So yeah.
Elaine Dunn is here. Hi, Elaine.
Hey, Elaine
Nice to
Dunn,
see
how are
you.
you doing? Yeah. Watching you in the In-N-Out drive-thru. I'm jealous. That's awesome. Well, welcome. Anyway, I'm going to read these signs real quick. I think it's really cool that they're talking about homology here, because this is something that we discuss a lot on this channel. Yeah. Oh, and this is like going to explain evolution real quick. Each individual has a unique set of genetic instructions called the genome. Each of these instructions is known as a gene, and each gene is responsible for controlling particular characteristics. This is like genetic code, if you've ever heard that term before. Our genetic information is stored as DNA sequences within pairs of chromosomes, half of which are inherited from the mother and half from the father. The genetic code found in each human cell consists of 20,000 to 25,000 instructions, significantly fewer than scientists had anticipated. Yeah, for a long time, people thought that, like, oh, human beings, we're so complex, we're so complicated, we're so advanced, we must have the most genes. That is not the case. No, creatures like lungfish have something like, it's like 10 times as many genes, or 100, it's something crazy. They have way more than we do. Anyway, the DNA of related individuals are more similar than those of random individuals. We also share DNA with other species. The more we share, the closer they are to us. That's a really neat little distillation of like common ancestry. Chimpanzees and bonobos are our closest relatives. We share 98.6% of DNA with them. Our common ancestors, a separate and unique species, probably lived around 5 to 10 million years ago. But gorillas are very close to us too. In fact, new data confirms that humans and gorillas differ in just 1.75% of their DNA, making our genomes more similar than previously thought. Gorillas became a separate species 10 million years ago, about 4 million years before humans split off from chimps. So yeah, pretty cool. Does this mean we're gonna go see some gorillas?
Quick question.
Uh-huh.
Do you do much by means of work discussion in the imaging of samples and fossils?
Not a whole lot, but I'm gonna be getting into that some more starting in the fall. Yeah. I used to teach early childhood education full time. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm going full time with streaming and with my science. And so I will definitely be talking a little bit about preparing images for publication and photogrammetry and that kind of thing. That's going to be cool. So if you're interested in that, I hope you stick around. Who typed that?
Wuga Chaka, who I think is new.
Oh, Wuga Chaka? Hey, I don't think I've seen you here before. Welcome to Paleontologizing. Yeah, it's great to have you here. Let's take a look. Oh, let's take a look at this teleost fish right here. This is a mackerel. And you might not think that you have very much in common with a fish, but really, if you think of the human body plan, or the body plan of any land-living animal as being like a weird modified fish, suddenly things click. Suddenly things make a lot more sense than they would otherwise. And you can see that right here in the fish's skeleton. It's got a skull just like us. It's got that backbone with those ribs. And then it's got... those fins are down on the ground. It looks like they fell off or something, maybe. But those contain the same basic elements as our limbs. And there are certain kinds of fishes that are more closely related to us, things like coelacanths or lungfishes. And you can really kind of see clues in their skeleton. It's like this is something very close to the ancestry of land-living vertebrate animals like us. And there are some incredible fossil specimens that show us that too. And yeah. If you stick around in the future, I'll show you some. I've got a really cool 3D print of one of these in my office called Tiktaalik. And what is this? A shark liver. The liver is the largest organ in the shark's body. It has a great reserve for minerals, vitamins, and fats. Due to its high oil content, it's also used to control buoyancy, as the shark has no swim bladder. That is really, really interesting. We looked at the swim bladder over there on the needlefish. Uh-huh. So the swim bladder is homologous to our lungs. Like when certain fishes moved up onto land, their swim bladders eventually became lungs. Lungfishes are kind of halfway along that transition. They're fishes that can breathe air too, because they use their swim bladder as like a modified, it's like a lung. Sharks don't have that though. You probably know that sharks are different from bony fishes. This is one of those big differences in their biology, where a shark uses its liver as its swim bladder to control its buoyancy, move up and down in the water column. Yeah. Wow. So the shark's liver can make up 40% of its total body volume. That is nuts. This is not a model right here. This is an actual shark liver that's been plasticized. Very cool. Yeah, you may have heard that killer whales will sometimes go after sharks. Sometimes they'll go and they'll kill a shark and they will... What?
We have dinosaurs over here.
We have dinosaurs over here?
We have dinosaurs over here.
I am really excited to see some dinosaurs. Yeah, sometimes you'll see you hear about killer whales going after a shark. Sometimes they'll just eat its liver and then leave the rest of it. So it's the most tasty, nutritious part, I guess. Anyway, let's see some dinosaurs over here. You are totally right, laurdee. Some modern dinosaurs. Very good. Anybody know what this is? Those two toes at the bottom are a clue. And of course, its size is as well.
Wow, it's so tall. I've never seen one like
they
this.
get bigger than this too. This is an ostrich, Struthiocamelus, if I remember correctly. But look at that. I love the lighting on it.
It's beautiful. It's really beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
I was never really like this.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a pigeon. It's a humble street pigeon. Look at that. Gorgeous.
Not an emu, Dork. It's an ostrich.
An ostrich, yeah. Emus have 3 toes on their feet. Ostriches have 2. And it looks like they're kind of almost on their way to having 1. I don't know why they lost digits 4 and 3. Now they just have 1 and 2 left there. Or something like that. Actually, no, they would have lost the hallux in digit 2. They just have digits 3 and 4 left, which is really weird. But yeah, check that out. Look at how robust that femur is, too.
I was looking at that.
That's nuts. That's thicker than my femur. These are the fastest bipedal animals on Earth, by the way. Ostriches are extremely fast. They can go up to 40, maybe even close to 50 miles an hour. The fastest thing on two legs. Really, really cool. And look at those hips. Reminds me of like dromaeosaur hips.
Shakira.
Shakira, yeah. But yeah. Right, thick, right? Iocane powder. Really neat. Really awesome. And I don't know, just looking at this, it's so bizarre to see a bird with a skeleton this robust. That's not something I'm used to. Most birds are adapted for flight.
Have very light bones.
Yeah.
But this looks hefty.
I mean, these birds have been evolved for ground running, flightlessness for a really long time. Yeah, these belong to a group of birds called the Paleognathes, and I think their taxonomy is kind of in flux all the time, but they've basically been flightless for a long time. And look there, that's really cool. Its metatarsals are just fused into a single bone. Remember how we saw the Tyrannosaurus skeleton and the metatarsals were kind of getting pinched together?
Yeah.
This is like an extreme example of that, where all those metatarsals have just become just a single bone like that, just been fused together. And look how they split at the end when you get down to the digits, down to the toes.
Kate Bot asks, did they evolve from flighted birds?
They did, yeah. As far as we know, the ancestor of all birds was volant. So birds like this, because they evolved from an earlier bird, they had to have evolved from a bird with flight. So yeah. That's actually one of the things that's kind of interesting about birds is that if you put them into an environment where they don't have any predators, flight is one of the first things that goes. Like, they lose it really quickly. There's some species of flightless birds from Australia, a place where, from not just Australia. There are flightless birds from Australia. There are some species of flightless birds from Hawaii. These isolated islands, a population of birds maybe got swept there in a storm or something, and then, flight is one of those things that's really expensive to maintain. And so if you don't need it to escape from predators or to get from place to place, if you could just walk or run, it behooves you to do so, to just get rid of flight like that. And a lot of these birds do. And at some point along the way, the ancestor of the ostriches did the same thing. And it's gone really well for them. So, yeah, pretty cool. I'll take a close-up of that skull as well. That's funny. It's so easy to imagine the face of an ostrich right there. It's such a distinctive skull. Really cool. And I mean, this is a big animal, too. This is the largest bird in the world today by weight. Obviously not by wingspan. But yeah, that is so cool. Reminds me of an ornithomimosaur, one of these ostrich dinosaurs. And look at how... Does it have the furcula? Oh, it looks like it's missing the furcula in between the coracoids there. The wishbone. Maybe it's just gotten super, super small in ostriches, or maybe they just don't have it on this specimen. But yeah. It's interesting looking at the shape of the vertebrae, too. They have such flexible necks. It's got to have something to do with the shape of those vertebrae. Really cool. Really, really cool. And here's a pigeon right here. There we go. Yeah. Pigeon skeleton. It's so small. And there's that wishbone. You see that? Really distinctive right there in the middle of the chest. It looks like a very rounded... It looks like a U, actually. Or a very rounded V. Beautiful. Such an intricate, pretty little skeleton. And it is, of course, a dinosaur, as all birds are. These guys evolved from theropod dinosaurs, not unlike Velociraptor or Deinonychus or Tyrannosaurus. Yeah, check out that sternum on it. That's its sternum, basically like the keel underneath. That big, long, flat bone, like that. And there's all these huge flight muscles that are anchored to that. It's kind of the key to the entire skeleton. That's how all of this works. It's how they can take to the air. It's all those giant flight muscles that attach to that. Super cool. Yeah, alright. Keep going?
Yeah.
Let's look here. We have a horse.
Really cool. Look at that jawbone.
I know, isn't that neat? They've got this big diastema here in between their incisors in the front. Their premaxillary teeth. And these high-crowned, kind of browsing, grazing teeth in the back. Really neat. Man, mammal skulls are so... They're like just so big and boxy and like solid. It's weird. I'm used to dinosaur skulls, which are much more kind of like graceful and kind of lightly built, kind of architectural. These are just like, there's a skull. Almost like an ankylosaur dinosaur. If there were one group of dinosaurs that were like that, it'd be the ankylosaurs or maybe the pachycephalosaurs. But in mammals, they're like, this is what their skulls are like for the most part. Really cool. And you'll see here too, like not everything is perfectly symmetrical. We've got the sagittal plane right here. You see where these bones fit together, like these are the nasals. But these little structures at the front of the nasals, these little processes, big processes really, they're not perfectly symmetrical. So every animal, is, built of different parts, controlled by genes and everything. It develops over time. There's like environmental stuff that has effects upon how you grow and develop. Not everything's going to be perfectly symmetrical like this, and here's a perfect example of that. Pretty cool. Look at some of these. There's a rabbit. Very cool. Little lagomorph related to rodents. Very cool. Very, very cool. And my hair is not parted perfectly. Exactly, Moosey Fade.
Do you think dinosaurs are put together correctly?
Very cool.
The bones.
It's a rabbit skeleton.
You're smart. What do you think?
Look at how long its tibia and fibula are compared to its femur. That's an indication this is a very fast-running animal. Yeah. As with the ostrich back there, its tib-fib is significantly longer than its femur. It's the mark of a fast-running animal. So anytime we find, fossils of a creature, and we're trying to figure out how it moved and how fast it was, that's a good clue. The ratio of femur length to tibia-fibula length. There's a frog right there. Very cool. Clearly evolved for jumping. Here's a chicken. That's a small chicken. It's like the size of our pigeon back there. You'll see how it's much more robust than the pigeon. This is an animal that doesn't do a lot of flying. And here's a human femur, thigh bone right here. Yeah, and you can see it's got those big cortical walls right there for strength. And then the inside of the bone is a little bit more hollow. Not like that of a dinosaur or anything, but, still.
Bluesy says, so how is the ratio in humans?
Ratio in humans? I think our tib-fib might be slightly longer than our femur. You know what? We can check. Let's take a look. We might be an exception here, actually. Here's a human skeleton. This is real, by the way. This is not a replica. And yeah, look, our femur is actually longer than our tibia, which is interesting. So humans are not... We're not super fast sprinters, at least by animal standards. By the standards of other creatures we share this planet with. But we are really good endurance runners. But yeah, interesting. There's those patellas down there. This caused me a lot of problems when I was in middle school. My patella got dislocated at one point. That was not a fun time. But that's the kneecap bone. You see right there. It's just kind of floating there. It's not held in place by any other bones or anything. There's just like ligaments and tendons that hold it in place. Pretty cool. Yeah. Let's see. Hey, Solid Gray Fox, how you doing? Yeah. Endurance, exactly, Bluesy. Exactly, yes. Right here, is this an oryx? Some kind of ungulate? What is this critter? Yeah, it is an oryx. Very cool. Check out those horns. Okay. Really neat. Check that out. And this guy's got slightly longer fib than femur. Does he even have fibula? I guess the fibula is kind of like fused on, unless they're just missing the fibula here. I really don't know enough about ungulate anatomy, ungulate osteology. But look at this right here. Does this remind anybody of anything dinosaur-wise? There's elongated neural spines on there. Yeah. In mayor space? Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Some of us can outrun other mammals. That's the thing, is that, like, nobody mentions that, like, it's only a very small subset of the population that can do that. That's why I kind of wonder sometimes whether it was really something, you know, like instrumental to human evolution.
Just a smidge.
Okay, I'll turn down the volume just a smidge. There we go. That should help a little bit. Yeah, check out those vertebrae right there. Yeah. But those are elongated vertebrae right along kind of like the shoulder area of the animal. This is almost kind of like the animal's center of gravity, I guess. At least when it's moving around, swinging its head. But yeah, a lot of dinosaurs also have elongated neural spines like that. Usually for them, it's around their hips. You've got dinosaurs like Acrocanthosaurus. You've got like Spinosaurids that all have this kind of thing. Makes you wonder what they were using them for, and whether they were using them for the same thing as mammals using them for. But yeah, pretty cool. All right, let's check out this right here.
She says another notch.
Another notch? Okay. Let me look at this in the light. Okay, we'll try that. This is a baby foal. A little baby horse.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Amazing, right? You start putting, like, muscles on things, and suddenly I have less to talk about. Because we're not looking at the skeleton. But here we've got the set of internal organs right here. It's very interesting. Kind of posed the same as the animal. That must be the tongue at the end. Yeah. The trachea, windpipe. You can see the lungs on either side right there, and the heart right in the middle. All the viscera at the bottom. Interesting. Yeah. But these guys are, like the sign says, walking on tiptoes. So horses have just a single toe that they walk on. It's their hoof. There used to be two other toes flanking that, one on either side of it. And you have that in earlier fossil horses. Yeah. Huh. Oh, nervous system of a cat? Wow. Okay. That must have taken some work to get out. Cat's brain. Pretty big. Cats have pretty big brains relative to their body size. And there's a rabbit's brain. So this is interesting. I know I get this question a lot, so it's interesting to see what the sign says. The larger an animal, the larger its brain usually is. The size of the brain, however, does not offer clues on intelligence. Told you this many times with regard to birds and dinosaurs, and apparently it's also true for mammals? I thought mammals were the one thing that brain size correlated to level of intelligence. Yeah. Got a goat right here. Very interesting. So goats are cloven-hoofed ungulates. So you can see they've got two toes still, right there. So these guys would be artiodactyls, and horses are perissodactyls. Do I have that right? Odd-toed versus even-toed ungulates, or other way around, even-toed versus odd-toed. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. I like how they preserved the beard there, too. Wow. Interesting. Very interesting. And look at that. Is this a baby cow? Or is this another goat? Some kind of artiodactyl. Oh, it's a sheep. Yeah, this is probably the circulatory system, I would imagine. Yeah, carotid artery. Yeah, I'm guessing this is the circulatory system right there, not the nervous system. Really interesting. It's just amazing to think about all of these different parts that make up your body and how, you know, this evolved over hundreds of millions of years in our ancestors. And we can still see bits and pieces of our own history and all these creatures that are alive today. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Very neat, Apocalypse. That sounds really cool. I've never seen a bodies exhibit like this before. This is a first. Oh, there's a human brain right there. Look at that. The furrows in the cerebral cortex hide roughly 2/3 of the brain's surface. If spread out flat, the cerebral cortex would be approximately 16 square feet. Wow. That's impressive. There's a giraffe's brain. This is funny. It says the giraffe's brain is actually smaller than expected for an animal of its size. Maybe not smaller than any of you would have expected. We've talked about how animals with really long necks, particularly like sauropod dinosaurs, it behooves them to have small heads and small brains. If something's way at the end of a super long neck, it's really expensive and difficult to get a lot of blood up there. And so, it makes sense for you to have a much smaller brain in your small head. Cool. It represents 0.05% of the animal's body weight. By contrast, a human's brain accounts for 2% of our body weight. Not surprising when you consider how a giraffe is built. Yeah. Behooves, yeah. T.L. Miller, that was not intended to be a pun. But yeah, there's a little octopus right here. Octopus intelligence.
Do other mammals have an appendix? Asks Paramedica.
They do, yeah. It might be called something different in other mammals, but certainly the great apes have it. I'm guessing probably almost all other placental mammals have it. I don't know. You should check that out and report back. I bet you they do. I want to say that in humans, the appendix is kind of like a remnant from our more herbivorous past. It has something to do with like digesting silica or something like that. And we don't really need it anymore because we don't really eat that much plant material. So yeah.
A couple questions. Are
Yeah.
manatees ruminants?
Are they ruminants, Kate Bots? I don't think they are.
What's a ruminant?
So a ruminant is, at least in like agricultural terms, it's like an animal that chews its cud, like cows.
Right, okay.
Yeah. I think it might also include like cervids, like deer and elk, but I'm not totally sure. But the closest living relatives of manatees are things like manatees are kind of Afrotherian mammal. They're Afrotheres, like elephants and like sengis, also known as like elephant shrews, even though they're not shrews. Yeah, manatees are super cool, but I don't think they're ruminants. I'm not even sure if ruminant is necessarily like a taxonomic term. Yeah.
One more.
Yeah.
Octopi have some of their brain in their tentacles, right?
I think that's right. Yeah, I think they have a non-centralized nervous system, like a lot of invertebrate animals do. Yeah.
No more questions.
And there you go, Dr. Greg. That makes perfect sense. Like maintaining gut flora for the appendix, and that would be one of the reasons why when an appendix bursts, it's so bad for somebody. Yeah. By the way, speaking of appendices, there's like one fact that I know. It's always stuck with me. I took like a wilderness medicine course once, and I don't remember everything from it, but one of the things that I remember is that if you're like out in the back country with a group of people and someone is like complaining of like really sharp pain in their side, especially if they're a guy, could be appendicitis. And one of the ways to check is to put some pressure on it. If when you release that pressure, like when you take your hand away, if it really, really hurts on that release, like when the pressure is released, that's a sign, serious sign it could be appendicitis. Yeah. It's only like when you take your hand on and then pull it off if it really hurts, appendicitis. But yeah. You ever heard that before?
No, now I know.
This is a goat right here. Wow, cross-section of a goat. There's the skull right there. They have a pretty thick skull, but I guess that makes perfect sense. It's got to be an anchor point for those horns. Yeah.
Is it the sinus cavity?
That is, yeah. There's the cerebrum, the brain. There's the spinal cord right there. You can see the processes on the cervical vertebrae. I don't know if they're called cervical vertebrae on mammals, but that's what we call them, on every other creature, basically. Look at that. You see the teeth up front. Wow. Pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. Yeah. Look at that. Really fascinating. Wow. And then here's a sheep over here. Yeah. Look at that trachea. It reminds me of like cord management for a computer. Put all the cables in the plastic tube like that with all those joints. Look at that. And there's your, would that be your haggis right there, laurdee?
I don't know.
Wow. Now look at that little tiny bony tail. Huh. Very interesting. And there's something really interesting going on too with those tendons. I wonder if that's the Achilles tendon along the back right there. If you look kind of on the leg, just above the ankle, see how there's like, you know, a window there? There's like empty space. Yeah. I mean, dogs have that too. I remember like on my dog, she's just got, you know, it's just like skin stretch across there. And that's probably the Achilles tendon or something similar.
Lucy Fate says it's a good thing sheep did good cord management and they don't have a bunch of thin neck strands or they get cut on things.
Exactly, Lucy Fate. That would be something selected against in natural selection. Yeah. There's a bull right there. Isn't this posed in the same way as the one on Wall Street?
Pretty much.
I think that's the idea here. Yeah. It's a massive animal. Trapezius muscles. A hamstring back here. Look at all that. Wow. Wowza, wowza. Pretty cool. I think the ring is a bit much. Yeah, Cape Buds. Well, I think this is supposed to be like the one on Wall Street. I think that's the idea here. And I think that one has a ring too, right? Oh, and here's the blood vessel configuration of a bull's heart. Wow. It's a big heart. This has got to be a model. This is not... That's plastic right there, right? Yeah. But really cool that somebody took the time and effort to actually mimic the configuration there. So interesting, like the amazing configurations that evolution comes up with. They're not always the most efficient. They're not always the way that you would design something. In fact, they're almost never the way that you would design something if you were to design it from the ground up. There's no, like, intelligence behind it. It's just really cool how everything works, though, you know? Anyway, we will continue on down here. I'm supposed to go downstairs to see the giraffe.
Do you want to see the giraffe?
Yeah, let's go see the giraffe. I think that'd be cool. All right, careful on these stairs. Don't look at your phone.
I already fell once today. You guys have seen me fall on stream once already.
I don't want that to happen again. Oh, this looks cool. Is this coming up? January 15th through May 7th? I know this. This is from that old National Geographic article with the Therizinosaur embryo. Pretty cool. Yeah. Another dinosaur one right there. A T-Rex named Sue and How to Raise a Dinosaur. Huh. These must be past exhibits. These are not upcoming.
Mona Patu's watching with her kid. She says she's very interested.
Oh, very cool. Yeah. Here, I'm afraid we might lose signal in here, so let's not dally in this corridor. Oh, that's super cool. I would have liked to have seen that. All right, here we are again. Oh, horses. Or rather, one horse. Wow. Look at that. We saw a horse skull earlier.
Yeah.
Look how big its brain is. Horses have pretty big brains. Although I have been told that mammals are pretty inefficient in how they use their brains. So, Yeah, it's like everybody kind of needs a big brain. Pretty cool. Yeah. Those teeth. Look at those teeth right there. Holy moly. Very cool. And a caribou. Or probably a domestic reindeer, I'd imagine. Yeah.
There's two of them?
Yeah.
Looks like pretty little animals.
Yeah. It's supposed to be a
Look at the
female
lips.
and a male. Yeah, look at the little lips. Yeah. So they will eat things like lichen and stuff like that, so they've got like really rough, rasping lips in order to get that very tough material. Really cool. These are one of those domestic animals that everybody seems to forget about when you're naming like all of the domesticated animals on Earth. Reindeer are one of those that are oft forgotten. Yeah. Yeah. Pretty neat. I'm guessing, yeah, this has got to be a female and a male. We could check, but yeah.
Lucy Fate says maybe mammals have untapped brain to help with potential learning through their life if challenged to use it.
Maybe, yeah. Or it might, I don't know. I don't know enough about mammal soft tissue to really say anything definitive. That's an idea, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I just thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, Wanapatu's child wants to know, are the eyes real or glass?
Oh, these ones are going to be glass eyes, yeah.
This is Laura Dern of Jurassic
But
Park.
almost everything
Digging
else
up
in here is
dinosaurs
gonna be
hard,
real.
frustrating work. It takes
It's
months
like all of
or
the muscle
years,
and everything,
so leave
all
it to
those
the
tendons
professionals.
have all been plastinated. So I think they've been injected with plastic. I wonder what the process is. I wonder if it's kind of like when we put Vinac on dinosaur fossils to help preserve them. I'm not actually sure if it's like PVA glue or something like that. I don't know how plastination works. Yeah. And look at that. So here's a great example. So that you can almost see where the thigh is. That's where the femur would be. So the tibia and fibula are longer than that. And then look at how long those metatarsals are. Pretty cool. It's just tiny little wimpy tail right there too. Yeah. Most mammals don't really have very impressive tails. Yeah. Lordy's looking at the horse display with, this is supposed to be a representation of the capillaries, I think.
Yeah. But it's just like solid.
It's just solid though, yeah. I don't know. So these are all the tiny little blood vessels that are embedded in the skin.
See it better on the back, actually.
Yeah. Pretty cool. Equus caballos, domestic horse. Very cool. Yeah, look at that. So the blood vessels get a lot bigger along the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can see they're kind of coming out in muscle form.
Uh-huh. Very interesting. Wow, super cool. Let's take a look at some of these other displays over here. We've got a mackerel right here. Does somebody have something funny to say?
Just the back of the head looks ripped off. Yikes.
Well, yeah. It's not attached to the rest of the horse. Yep.
Not a good waking up to that.
Reference to The Godfather. Some human lungs right there. Very cool. Take some time to appreciate your own lungs that you're breathing. It's pig's lungs. It's a domestic cat. Look at the rib cage on it. Yeah. Very cool. Man, mammals have such, like, I don't know, their ribs are they're like a little fortress. Dinosaur ribs are often not like that. Or at least, I don't know, ones that don't have gastralia don't seem like that. But
I'm not going to finish my burger. Yeah, I think I'll have salad. That was my thought too.
welcome to my world. Yeah. Oh man, even before I went vegetarian, like when I had to do dissections in undergrad, like, man, I didn't want to eat meat for weeks after that. Yeah, here's some reindeer lungs right here. Very cool. You see where the trachea connects, the windpipe? Those lungs.
user question.
Yeah.
Paramedics Underground says, think there's ever going to be a way to bring back megafauna like the
Paraceratherium? I don't know about Paraceratherium, but big Indricotheres like that. That's basically like it was like a rhinoceros that wanted to be like a giraffe. So it's related to rhinoceroses, but like really, really big, really tall. I don't know about those. We'd get mammoths a lot sooner than that, and I don't know if mammoths are. Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. And what are these? Here's more of the same here. You don't want to look at that one?
Thank you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So these are bone and blood vessel configurations. Wow. Take a look at that. There's teeth under there. Very cool. Oh, Lordy, can you tell me? Is that one right there a Bactrian or dromedary camel? Don't look at the sign. Should I give you a
I don't
hint?
know what the difference is.
It's the number of humps. And
So
dromedary.
Dromedary is 2? I don't know.
You had it backwards. Bactrian is 2 humps, like a letter B, and dromedary is 1 hump. So
They
Bactrian
say-
camels are from Asia. Dromedary camels are from Africa and from the Arabian Peninsula and that area. Yeah. This is really cool. We've got an alligator right here. Or no, a crocodile. The shape of the snout. Look at that. Like a cross-section of its body. Oh, it's a caiman. Okay. Very cool. Really neat. This is much more dense than a dinosaur's body would be, I would imagine. Because these guys, they are aquatic predators. They have to be at neutral buoyancy with the water, which means they have to be pretty dense. If you were to talk about, terrestrial dinosaurs, it'd be an animal that would be much more lightweight, like a modern bird. Yeah, man, check this out. Wow. Ever seen a 3-headed camel before?
No.
Me neither. This is pretty wild. Wow. Yeah, Bactrian camel. So of course it's a misperception that camels would store water in those humps. They can go a long, long time without drinking water. But it's actually fat storage in there. They can kind of live off that fat in the humps.
In the humps?
Yeah, humps are not for water storage. They store fat.
Is the fat watery?
Not really, I don't think.
Hydrate them at all, or they
I
just
don't
live
think
off
so.
their fat?
I think they just
don't
live
get
off the fat,
thirsty?
yeah. They're able to just gulp down enormous quantities of water when they have access to it. And then they're able to just survive on that for a long time. This is super cool. Wow. Some kind of cat. What is this? A lion. And Panthera leo. Very interesting. Vertebral series. Of course, 7 cervical vertebrae, like in almost all mammals. And then you've got your thoracic and lumbar vertebrae. Unlike in dinosaurs, where there's just, dorsal vertebrae all the way until you get to the sacrum. In mammals, some of the vertebrae have ribs attached to them. We call those thoracic vertebrae. And the ones with no ribs attached are called lumbar vertebrae. And that's what you're seeing here. These ones have these neural spines along there. Thoracic vertebrae. And you can also see where the ribs attach. Pink, 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 like that. And then you've got the lumbar vertebrae afterward. The sacral vertebrae within the hips. And then the caudal vertebrae. Long and thin tail vertebrae along the back. Pretty neat. Pretty neat. Wow. So this says here that Bactrian camels can take in up to 32 gallons of water at a time, giving them enough to survive for up to 2 weeks. To save water and energy, their bodies excrete urine and feces in a highly concentrated form. Yeah. Interesting. All camels are herbivores who regurgitate their food, so they do chew their cud, I guess. It says, however, in a zoological sense, they do not belong to the ruminants, because they evolved independent of that group. Oh, so ruminants are an actual phylogenetic group. I didn't know that. That's cool. They have 2 gastroesophageal vestibules equipped with glands that are located in the front of the camel's main stomach. These allow for the digestion of thorny, salty, and even poisonous plants. Super cool. Wow, I'm so glad we came here. This is awesome. Yeah.
Javasaurus says, so that is why camel poop is used as a building material where they live.
I bet you it is. I bet you it's extremely dense and fibrous. And it probably doesn't break down very much. Thank you, Avatar. Really appreciate that. That is
really
awesome.
Appreciate that.
Thank you kindly. That's wonderful. Sorry, we have to be so quiet. We're here.
We
in the
wrote a
museum.
movie, just changed
don't wanna
things
be
with those
obnoxious,
5 gift
but,
subs.
Yeah, that is so cool. Thank you. There's blood vessels of a lamb right here. Wow. Look at how intricate
A real
that is.
mean kid.
And how there's like... it's so
With
thin that
6-inch
little pieces
daggers for
fall off.
teeth, he was the terror of his neighborhood.
Yeah. Very neat. Oh, cute little lamb. There's a lizard. Looks like a skink or something.
Really spectacular. Spared no expense.
Fenix 90FR gifted Elias a subscription.
That is a big heart.
Fenix 90FR gifted a tier 1 sub to Elias.
Gifts up from Phoenix.
Phoenix, thank you so much.
A
Really
real mean
appreciate
kid.
that. That's wonderful.
With 6-inch
Thank you
daggers
kindly.
for teeth, he was the terror of his neighborhood.
Oh, it says disconnected. Hopefully. Hopefully we're still okay, signal-wise.
I've still got signal on my phone.
Okay. It might just be
Still
the...
see us?
Yeah, it might just be the modem that that my phone is running off of. Yeah, that is a skink. I was right.
Kate says,
Very
is that
cool.
made from a CT scan or is it the real thing?
Oh, the one over there? I think that's the real thing. I think all of these are the real thing. I think that's the idea. I mean, that's a photograph over there, the one of the lion. But yeah, if it were a CT scanner, they wouldn't have different colors.
Really
It
spectacular.
would all be
Spared no
uniform in color,
expense.
as far as I know.
Matebath gifted Calvin 2269 a subscription. Matebath gifted a tier 1 sub to Calvin
Thank you.
2269.
So much, maybe bad.
Maybe, Beth. I really appreciate that. I don't recognize your username, by the way. Are you new here? Thank you very much. That's much appreciated. Welcome to Paleontologizing.
Hype train, hype train, hype train.
Do we have a hype train going?
Yeah.
All right. Excellent. Thank you, everybody.
Oh, what time, oh, what month.
Yeah.
Laying tag with
Help us do this live streaming
WETAA.
out in the real world for you guys. So
This
thank
is
you so
really
much.
awesome. Thank you kindly. Seriously. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. We've got some other hearts over here.
Tropical gave us 100 bits.
Thank you, Tropical.
Thanks, Tropical.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Oh, here's the bull's heart. This might be from the same bull that we saw earlier. I wonder how many of these are pieces of the same individual animals.
Yeah, I'm curious, how they
Yeah.
consolidate how many animals they needed.
Look at that giraffe over there.
I know.
Holy moly. We're going to go see that in a minute. So stay tuned. That is impressive.
We all knew.
Wow.
If it hadn't been for that great dinosaur who saved us from the American forces.
Thank you, Executive. Really appreciate that. Yeah. 12 months. That's a whole year. Thanks.
Wow,
That's
made
awesome.
the full year.
Check this out. A
On
rabbit
formal
right there.
occasions, he's called
Blood vessel
Brontosaurus.
configuration.
Big fella, isn't he? 70 feet long. Tips the scales at a substantial 35 tons.
Very interesting.
Someone was asking how they did the blood vessels.
Yeah, here we go.
It looks like they are created by injecting colored liquid plastics into the vessels. Then the plastic hardens into the shape of the vessels. Then the surrounding tissue is removed with the help of enzymes, bacteria, or acids.
Oh. So it's mostly done via chemical. It's really interesting. Via chemical means, you can make models like these. Wow. I was kind of wondering whether they were... Because you can see there's a metal armature inside that supports everything. I was kind of wondering whether this is like just like an artistic model meant to represent the configuration of the blood vessels, but it's apparently not the case. Super cool. There's a pig right there. Fascinating. I'm sure there must have been some artistry that went into making that so pretty. But yeah. Oh, here's a baby dromedary camel right here. Yeah.
Wow,
No,
it's not
baby
the
Bactrian
dinosaur we
camel.
knew.
2 humps.
Just look at that thing. It's not going to be friendly to us.
Yeah. It's funny, this is probably not
Thanks
that
for the
old for a
magical
baby
road
camel,
trip.
too.
You're
It's probably not
brightening
that
my
much
day
bigger
when
than a
I'm
newborn.
stuck here doing lame biomolecular
Like I've always
studies.
been saying
Smiley
on this
face.
channel, you know, dinosaurs are incredible because they all hatched out of eggs no bigger than like a soccer ball. Even the very biggest dinosaurs, mammals, kind of take a shortcut there, where their babies are relatively big. Like some of them are bigger than you or me, laurdee.
Dr. Javasaurus, before how many months? 5 months now.
Months. Thank you, Javasaurus.
Thank
Really
you so
appreciate
much,
it.
Javasaurus.
Yeah.
We really appreciate you being here.
This is awesome. Yeah. And paramedic center, I don't know about that. With spacesuits and giraffe's neck, I'm not sure. You would know more about that than I would, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. Pretty cool. What are we looking at right here? Oh, you're fine. Looking at an elephant, a cross-section of it. Here, I'll show you. This is super cool. So, this is the cross-section plane that goes across like that. So, this part down here is going to be the head. Look at that. Yeah, you can see the outline of the skull. This is where the tusks would come off. It's too big incisor teeth. Or canine teeth, I suppose. Yeah. That must be the brain, and those are the sinuses, maybe? Super cool. Look at that. And look at how big and wide their gut is back here. This is like mostly negative space for all the digestion that happens. Those are the femurs. Wow. Look at that weird angle they come off of. Like that. Just split off to the sides. Yeah. I don't know. Even with all of the processing power, like the way that they chew their food, they pre-process it. I'm sure they still have like a lot of hindgut fermentation going on, which is why they need this big, massive gut. This reminds me of like an ankylosaur or something. Same kind of shape. I'm not used to seeing like a cross-section of an elephant from above, you know, like looking down upon an elephant in order to see the shape. But it really does remind me of an ankylosaur. It's super cool. Wow, neat stuff.
I just wanted to say, our sub counter is not going up right now, but we appreciate you guys so much, and we are watching to see that, and we know that you guys
Thank you.
and we really appreciate
that.
We're working on getting the sub counter up.
I don't know why it wouldn't be working.
iOS is working on it.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Maybe we didn't click start or something. Man, look at that. I'm excited to talk about that. Ostrich up there. What's this right here? Human internal organs. Okay. Wow, this would be from a big person. Yeah, got the lungs up there. Got the heart. That's probably the stomach. That must be the liver. And large intestine and small intestine. Things go through the small intestine before they go through the large intestine. So it's just really interesting how everything's arranged. Again, if you were to design this stuff like from the ground up, you wouldn't have it be in this complicated arrangement like that. So it's just really cool to see. This is all a product of kind of an evolutionary past. Really neat. Really, really neat. Yeah. Huh. Very cool. All right. Here's a dog right here. Clifford, the regular-sized dog. Regular-sized red dog. Let me do that joke over. Here is Clifford, the regular-sized dog. Was that better that time? Oh, sorry, pup time. Yeah. And Kira says, what are these made of? These are real animal bodies that have been plastinated. So as we saw the disclaimer at the beginning, no animals were harmed in the making of these exhibits. None of these animals were killed for these displays. This has been made in association with and cooperation with like zoos and wildlife parks and animal groups. So that when an animal, I guess, would die of natural causes, like, you could display its body here for the edification and enjoyment of the public. To teach people cool things, you know? Yeah. Here, we'll talk about that in a little bit. Let me talk about the giraffe first, though. Holy cow, look at that. Pretty impressive, right? My goodness. That is incredible. Super, super cool. Look at that. Yeah? I got to feed a giraffe once.
Wow.
Yeah. They are really awesome. Tallest animal on planet Earth. On land, at least. Look at that. Oh, we get to see the skeleton on the other side. Look at the size of these. Look at how big the tib fib is. Just, oh, that'd be up here. Look at how thick those metatarsals are, I mean. Nuts. Nuts. Yeah, ah, my favorite. Let's see some giraffe bones. There's a giraffe's heart right there. It has to have a massive heart in order to be able to pump blood all the way up to the top of that neck and its head. Look at that skeleton. Look at that. Just incredible. That is beautiful. Oh my goodness. Wow. Wow.
Kate says, "Whoa, they're weird short rib cages."
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, it's just like us, where they've got the thoracic vertebrae at the front, the ones with the ribs attached, and the lumbar vertebrae in the back. Again, contrast this with dinosaurs, who they have ribs on all of their dorsal vertebrae. And mammals, they've only got them on a few. Those are called thoracic vertebrae. There's that distinction made that you don't make in dinosaurs. And check out that neck. Just crazy. And there's only, count them, 7 cervical vertebrae. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. A giraffe has the same number of vertebrae in its neck as you do, or as I do. Almost all mammals just have 7. It's like a weird quirk of mammals. Other creatures, dinosaurs, marine reptiles, birds, whatever, if they want longer necks, they just multiply their number of neck vertebrae. In fact, I want to say that there are some kinds of different creatures alive today where, like, siblings, like from the same brood, will have different numbers of neck vertebrae. Like, it just doesn't matter. But with mammals, it always has to be 7 in almost all cases. Does anybody know the 2 cases where that is not true? The 2 kinds of mammals who can have either more or fewer than 7? It's not who you'd expect. Yeah. Any idea, laurdee? No?
No, I don't know.
Yeah. I'll let you noodle on that for a little bit. And what is this? This is a bizarre giraffe in slices. Giraffe's body is relatively short. Wow. Very interesting. That's cool. The cross sections of the bones. You think this is a traveling exhibit? This must be one of those huge pieces that takes up hardly any room when it's packed up. It just accordions together and yeah. Very cool. Very, very cool. Ooh, here's a person opening up to us. Right here. Interesting. You see enough people every day. I don't have to show you that, but I do want to show you over here. Let's see. And I think that's right, Javasaurus. I think that's right. That's one of the reasons why. I don't know if it's like embryonic death, but for whatever reason, for mammals, if their vertebral count goes up in the neck, like I think it's like causes basically like just cancer right away. And the two kinds of mammal that can have different numbers of cervical verts have extremely low rates of cancer. Yeah. Yeah. And there you go, paramedics. Yes. Yeah. Oh, tropical. Here, I can try and hold for a few seconds, I guess. Especially here on this ostrich. Man, this is beautiful. Take a look at that. Very cool.
I think we have some guesses. Someone guessed cat.
Cat?
Someone guessed shrew.
A cat is not, no, not a shrew. Those are good guesses. Those are good guesses. They both always have 7, as far as I know. Look at that trachea on the ostrich. It's like remarkably similar to the goat trachea. It's one of those things that's just conserved across different animal groups. Man, this reminds me of an ornithomimosaur. Take a look at that. Isn't that cool? I'm so lucky to be here right now. Very cool. Look at all those feathers attaching to there. Really cool. And you see, there's even like a little remnant claw right there. I didn't know that.
Oh, there's a little claw.
I didn't recognize ostriches had that. I hope you can see it in the camera. A little remnant manual ungule. And there's another one right there, it looks like, just under the feathers. Kind of reminds me of a Watson.
Not more guesses?
Yeah, more guesses.
Platypus?
Not a platypus, no.
Whale?
Not a blue whale, good guess.
Naked mole rat?
Not a naked mole rat, no.
Sloths?
Sloths, yes. Sloths are one of those very, very few mammals that can actually have different numbers of cervical vertebrae. Not just 7, like in almost all other mammals. So sloths are 1. They also have very, very low rates of cancer. What is the other group of mammals? It's like 1 or 2 species. I'm not even sure if they're well studied enough that we know that for all of them, but yeah. For this particular group.
Lorises?
Not lorises, no. That's a good guess. That's a good guess. Man, look at those. Just like I would imagine hind limbs on a theropod dinosaur. That same kind of pebbly skin texture.
That's so cool.
Isn't that neat? That's amazing.
It always looks like elephant skin a little bit.
It kind of does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
With those wrinkles? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how much
That's
they're...
scalier, though.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and the skin impressions we do have of some dinosaurs do kind of resemble that.
The manatees?
It is, yeah. Who got it?
Dinosaurus says that they saw it on PBS Eons.
There you go, yeah. It's manatees and maybe dugongs too, I'm not sure. But Sirenian mammals, you know, the ones that are related to, manatees and dugongs. They are related to whales, but, you know, they are distinct.
How are you folks?
Doing well, thanks. How are you?
You know, I'm old and tired, but I'm working on it.
Yeah?
So, there's only so much you can do with it.
I'm really enjoying the exhibit.
Beautiful displays.
Where are you folks from?
From Oakland, California. Yeah.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
it's, long trek for you.
Yeah, we're on this big road trip right now, visiting a bunch of different museums and stuff. I'm a dinosaur paleontologist, so...
Really?
Yeah.
Well, the last exhibit that we hosted was Darwin and Dinosaurs, which basically was looking at paleontology in one aspect.
Uh-huh.
And
I heard very cool things about that,
it's an extraordinary
Yeah.
exhibit. It really is. But anyway, well, I'm glad that you're here. I hope
Yeah.
you enjoy it. I'm
Thanks.
assuming that's for your own personal use?
Yes, it is, yeah.
Yeah.
You have to ask for the company.
Yeah.
Awesome, yeah.
But anyway, enjoy your stay.
Thanks,
Thank
appreciate
you.
it,
So
yeah.
how long are you on the road?
We'll be on the road until like the 12th.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's been really awesome, yeah.
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 Really nice.
Well, before everything blows up.
Yeah, I know, right?
Right, yeah, thank you.
We're vaccinated and everything, we're trying to be
So
careful. Yeah,
I totally. And I'm just hoping everybody else gets it.
exactly. That's what we need right now. Thank you. Yeah. All right, cool. All right. Ostrich, very, very neat. Take a look at that. Wow. Awesome. Super cool. This is so cool. And we have reached, looks like the end of the exhibit here. Is that our exit right there? Oh, I like this. Super cool. Really neat. Javasaurus, there you go. Yeah. Anyway.
How are we feeling? Do we want to
I'm feeling good.
more of the museum?
I would love to. I want to at least go see the Columbian mammoth.
Okay. 100%.
Are you? Give me a 2 in chat if you like that idea, and we'll go do that. Yeah, we'll see if we can go find. There's supposed to be some cool Pleistocene displays in this museum. But thank you so much, Body Worlds, Animals, Inside Out. Super cool.
Everybody says 2.
All right. Yeah. 2. I said if they want to go see the mammoth.
Oh, I didn't hear you say that. I was like, what are they talking about?
Let's see. Oh, super cool, Kate Bot. Super cool. Well, hello to all of them. Yeah. Awesome. Well, let's go through there. Oh, we are back kind of where we started. Cool. I think you're right. Yeah. Here, let me get some water real quick. Okay. Yeah. I've got to say, I mean, if we were not streaming this right now, to some people who are hard of hearing, who want to see our mouths so they can read our lips, I would definitely be wearing a mask right now. I kind of feel bad for not doing that. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, we did. We are safe. You got, what did you got Pfizer, was it? Yeah. I got the Moderna. But yeah. Oh, super cool. Bison alticornis. Yeah. Oh no, sorry, Bison latifrons. Check that out. It's a bison skull, laurdee. Wow. Look at the size of those horns.
That's so cool. And that's just not even
I know, not even complete.
Off, yeah.
And yeah, here's a cradle like we were talking about. For supporting these fossils on display. So yeah, a lot of people don't realize that the bison that we have here in North America today, like the ones that you see when you go to Yellowstone National Park, like the ones that we saw the other day, those are like the smallest species of bison. Mm-hmm. There were multiple species. The smallest ones are the only ones that survived. Again, it's a big controversy whether all of these big, mega mammals that lived during the Pleistocene, it's a controversy whether they went extinct because of a changing climate or because of people arriving on the scene and maybe exerting some additional hunting pressure on them. Or it could very well be a combination of the two. But yeah, for whatever reason, the smallest bison are the only ones that survived. Ones like bison latifrons died out. Just to give you a sense of scale, this is huge right now. Yeah. Just
about as long as my arms,
yeah.
And I'm pretty tall.
Yeah. So, laurdee's what, 7'8", I think?
About.
Is that right?
Just about.
Yeah. Look at that. Columbian mammoth. Laurdee, did you see this? That is so cool. Mammuth americanum? No, that's a mastodon. Mammuthus columbianus, I think, is the Columbian mammoth. Yeah, elephants in Idaho? You better believe it. Yeah, Mammuthus columbi, there we go. 12 to 14 feet tall, 8 to 10 tons. Yeah, these are the biggest of the Pleistocene mammals in North America. The Columbian mammoth. Just enormous, right? I mean, pretty incredible. Look at that. Look at that. Holy cow.
This is how life.
Yeah, this is life-size. This would be a pretty large individual. This might be among the largest.
Yeah.
But yeah, just take a look. Incredible. Oh, that's awesome. I like all the little hairs underneath too. Look around the mouth, those little hairs poking out. Look at the size of those tusks. Man. Very, very cool. I just want to walk around the other side, get a view from all angles. That is so cool. Look at that. Oh, man. Wow. Pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. Here we have a mammoth tooth. One of the molars. It's talking about the way to tell the difference between mastodons and mammoths. Mammoths have these nice, relatively flat chewing surfaces on there. This one's a little bit chunked up. It's missing some pieces, but yeah. Very cool. That's a single molar right there. How big that is. And these guys have, I think, 6 to 8 of them throughout their lives. They have like multiple sets, more than most mammals do. And there's a chunk of tusk right there. Chances are, if you live in North America, you live in a place that had these animals walking around in it. You know, we both live in Oakland, California. There were Columbian mammoths in the Bay Area just a few thousand years ago, like 10 to 15,000 years ago. Yeah, in the Oakland Coliseum, where the Oakland A's play, baseball team, there's a Columbian mammoth that was dug up. I think it was a femur or a tibia of a Columbian mammoth, right there in the foundation of that building. So these guys were all over North America. Yeah.
Kleber says, Danny, the tusks were for grazing?
No, the tusks were for things like defense, things like fighting amongst rivals, like other members of the same species, fighting against predators. I guess fighting against human hunters too. It didn't work super well. Yeah. They use their tusks just like modern elephants do. It's also like probably a display thing too. Mammoth with the biggest tusks is like top dog. Yeah. Tusks are very versatile. That's why they got so big. That's why they were selected for like this. Yeah, that's incredible. That's so cool. Yeah. There you go, Ice Allen. Yeah. Should we check out a few of these things before we go back and see the giant ground sloth? All right. Oh, wow, look. Bison scapula with a point fragment. So this is evidence of hunting from about 9,000 years ago? Yeah. Courtesy of the Wasden Archaeological Association. Thank you, Wasden Archaeological Association. Pretty cool. That's a shoulder blade of a bison with basically like a spear point or arrow point embedded in it. Pretty cool. It's a red fox, Vulpes. Only slightly derpy looking. Really is a beautiful animal. Yeah. This must be a trumpeter swan right here. Look at that. That's gorgeous. Check that out. I think this might be the largest bird in North America. If you go by wingspan, it might be the trumpeter swan. Yeah.
So scary.
Really, really cool. grizzly bear. Look at that. Oh, and dubious, you're probably right. The condor, trumpeter swan's probably the second after the condor. I've taken the condor as a given. But yeah, the California condor, like Gymnogyps californianus, I think.
They curled its snout up.
Yeah, bearing its teeth like that. Look at the size of those claws.
Do you think that's their real tongue, or do you think they did a plastic
No,
tongue?
that's a plastic, yeah. Yeah.
Do they do plastic noses too?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, isn't that neat?
Yeah.
Really well done. Look at the size of those claws. So these guys, their claws are mostly used for digging. Almost any animal with really big claws like that, unless it's a cat, it uses them for digging. That's why they're not particularly sharp, too. They're just really robust. They're an excellent digging tool. Very cool. It's a big animal. I kind of want to go around the other side and show you. Yeah, here, check this out. Give you a better view. Pretty cool. I mean, look at that. Just to give you a sense of scale here. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. We've got... Is this some kind of hawk? Is this a... Looks too big to be a sparrowhawk. What is this?
Rough-legged hawk.
Rough-legged hawk.
And pinyon jay.
Oh, poor Jay. Very neat. Those beautiful feathers. You can see why they call them rough-legged hawks. Got those stripes running down their legs. Really neat.
Paul Machine says, yeah, now I'm afraid of bears.
You're afraid of bears now? Huh? Well, you're more likely to be eaten by pigs than by bears, I think. Isn't that right?
I don't know, but this
I don't know why I'm asking you.
background is making me dizzy.
Oh, yeah. Going up. We're in a giant elevator right now, if you can't tell. Cool ride. Here's a gray wolf. Canis lupus. With a desert bighorn sheep skull, or some sort of bighorn sheep skull. Probably not a desert bighorn sheep. Very neat. Very, very neat. Super cool. And here is the largest bird of prey, not counting the condor, obviously, from North America, golden eagle. Look at that. He does not look happy. He or she. But look at that. Remember when we were talking about Deinonychus and Velociraptor and about the big sickle claws? Look right here. I was telling you about how eagles also have the same thing. Take a look at her feet right there. You've got the claw in the middle. See how that's so much bigger than the ones on the sides? Look at that. Mm-hmm. Just like on Velociraptor or Deinonychus, just a little bit less pronounced. Yeah, these guys also.
Like a really long pinky nail.
What's that?
It's like the people who keep their pinky nail really long.
No, that's for something else.
Oh, I don't know what that's for.
You don't know what that's for?
No.
Okay. It's a little bit illicit.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. But yeah, check that out. So the digit 2 claw right there. Digit 2, it's confusing because the one in the back around here is digit 1. That's the hallux. The one that's on the back over there. So the one in the middle is digit 2. And that's the same one that on Velociraptor or Deinonychus is really, really long and thick. Hypertrophied, we would say. These guys have the same thing. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yeah. Alright, let's check out this mountain lion over here, too. Oh, before we do that, let's check out the mountain goat.
It's got nothing to do with oil. I'm a paleontologist.
I have never seen one of these alive in the wild. A mountain goat.
Contains almost all of the North American
I've heard that if you go up to Glacier National Park, which I've still never been to, you're bound to see some mountain goats. But I haven't. I found a skull of a mountain goat up by Fairy Lake near Bozeman, Montana. It was probably a juvenile because it was pretty small and it didn't have the horns attached. could barely tell it was a goat. It was definitely a mountain goat. Way up there in the mountains.
Oh, he's posed on his tiptoes.
Yeah. Well, they can balance on just the narrowest little precipices. It's amazing, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. A lot of goats seem to have an instinct where they want to get up high. Like, they'll try to climb to the highest thing in their environment and just stand on it because they feel comfortable up there. That might have something to do with mountain goats, too. Like, I don't know. Mountain goats obviously live up in the mountains, and that's what kind of keeps them safe from predators. But they do still occasionally get taken by other critters like mountain lions. Yeah. This is an animal with many names. You call it a mountain lion, call it a cougar, call it a puma.
Oh, beautiful.
Call it a catamount, call it a mountain screamer. They've got so many different regional names. It's nuts. Yeah.
Look at giant paws.
Yeah. So these, I think, are actually the 4th largest cat in the world. They are larger than cheetahs. So I think it goes tiger, like 2 species of tiger are the largest, then lions, then jaguars, then pumas. Yeah. Really, really cool animals. And they're super widespread, too. Like, they can live in so many different environments. You can find cougars within the city of Los Angeles. There are mountain lions that live within LA city limits, yeah.
That's so interesting, where animals take advantage of humans in some, or like where they live.
Well, in this case, it's just like they're so good at keeping to themselves that they can exist in an environment like that. Because there are little tracts of kind of preserved wilderness in LA, and yeah, we've got mountain lions there. Pretty neat. Pretty neat. Yeah. This is not a particularly big one, too. They get really big. I don't think I've ever seen a mountain lion in the wild, but I've heard that, like, when people do run across them, even like wildlife biologists, it'll be like, they'll be walking around the woods in Montana, and it's just jarring to, like, see a lion crossing your path. A lion in Montana, or Idaho, as the case may be here. Yeah. Really cool. Super neat. All right. Should we go back in time a little bit and go check out that... we'll go check out the skulls and then the giant ground sloth. Yeah. Oh, wow, really cool, Kirsten. Wow, yeah. I've found mountain lion scat before out in the field. It's like really whitish. It's like really calcium rich because they chew on bones and stuff too. Yeah. All right, we're gonna check out some mammal elements from the Pleistocene, from around the time of the last ice age. Pleistocene goes from it's like 10,000 years ago to like almost 2 million years ago. There's a short-faced bear skull.
I was going to say paramedics, so I'm going to see a short-faced bear.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, here you go, paramedics.
That's a couple times.
Oh, cool. Yeah. There you go. You can see why they call it a short-faced bear. Because it's got a short face. But yeah. Really neat. And this looks like a cast.
It does kind of look like a cast, doesn't it?
Yeah. It looks like it's painted like you would see at La Brea. Yeah. So short-faced bears are really cool because they've got a short face, but they're also really big. They might have been the largest bears in North America. They've got really long limbs. Like, for a long time, people thought they might have been pursuit predators that would have chased down horses and eaten them. I think our idea, the general consensus now, if I remember correctly, again, I'm not a mammal guy, but I think the general consensus now is that short-faced bears mostly ate the same thing that grizzly bears and black bears. They're mostly eating plants. Maybe they're a little bit more carnivorous than other bears, but they probably weren't active pursuit predators all the time. Here's a Smilodon skull. Good old Smilodon, just like I have at home. those saber fangs. Very cool. Yeah, that's definitely a cast. Very neat. And here's a direwolf skull. So this is now out of date. I don't know if if this consensus will hold up, or if these findings will hold up. There's a paper that came out recently that reclassified direwolves as not actually being true wolves. Like, not even within genus Canis anymore. It's like Aerocyron dirus or something. It used to be Canis dirus, as it says right here. Yeah. But yeah, I guess they're actually they're distinct enough from modern wolves and from modern canids that they're like their own genus, which is cool. They would have been bigger than modern wolves. A little bit bigger, I think. Not wildly bigger. But yeah, pretty cool. And then this weird and wacky creature. I've been saving this to show you. Check this out.
It says, based on what evidence?
I'm not sure. You looked it up, Dr. Dinosaurus. I'm not sure. Yeah, this is Paramylodon. So this is a giant ground sloth, or maybe not a. I don't know if the common name, if we should call it giant ground sloth. This is a Harlan's ground sloth, Paramylodon harlani. But look at this weird creature. It's got this giant barrel-shaped body, like this. These super wide ilia. What's that?
Look at those giant ribs.
I know, yeah. I mean, they would have, because this is an animal that is like a hindgut fermenter. It doesn't really chew its food that well. Look at its teeth. Its teeth are not
It's
super...
the opposite of a ruminator.
Of a ruminant? Kind of, yeah. So almost like a sauropod dinosaur or an ankylosaur, just like gulping down big mouthfuls of food, not chewing them too much. All the digestion's happening here. This is where the action is. Yeah. Such bizarre animals. They're really, really strange. And look at the way that the feet are. They actually walk on like the sides of their feet. Right here. The toes kind of curl inward like that. It's really bizarre. Would have been probably very slow moving animals. I can't imagine these guys moving quickly at all.
Dark Raven says, in regards to the short-faced bears,
Uh-huh.
I think they did chemical breakdown on their bones.
Oh.
They mostly ate vegetation and berries, but were more or less carnivorous than modern bears.
Oh, interesting. I wonder if it's like isotopic stuff. Yeah. Thanks, Dark Raven. I vaguely remembered something like that, so thanks for confirming. Yeah. Look at that. Look how robust their limbs are, too. So here's the femur right here. This is the thigh bone. And we have a partial femur from this same kind of sloth at the museum in Berkeley. And stay tuned for that. I will hopefully have a project regarding that starting in the fall, but we'll see. Really neat. Like, what a weird, bizarre, wonderful creature is this. It's really strange. Really strange. Trying to imagine what these creatures would have looked like in life is... Yeah. Anyway. How are you feeling? I think I might want to wrap up the stream pretty soon.
Yeah, let's wrap up the stream. Do you want to wrap up inside? Do you want to go
I think
outside?
we'll wrap up inside right over here by this mammoth.
Okay.
I think that'll be really cool. But yeah. And I know, isn't that, Linda? Huge femur on that. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up because I think we've seen pretty much everything there is to see here.
Yeah.
We might go have a look around and see some other stuff.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Let me see who else is live right now. And I'll see whom we can raid.
Culinary Rewind is on.
Culinary Rewind is on?
There's Balint.
We raided Balint the other day.
Those are the only ones I really have that you.
How about Damon Machine? He works on vehicles, and like he's also in the Knowledge Fellowship, I think. DEAMON Machine. Okay.
Everybody says thanks for the stream. It was great.
Yeah,
Thank you
thanks
guys.
for being here. This was a ton of fun. I'm glad that the equipment finally worked. They're like, we had good signal the whole time. This has been great.
We should be doing another stream tomorrow around the same time-ish, within an hour or so.
Tomorrow we'll be in...
putting up stuff on Discord and Twitter, letting you guys know what we're up to.
We'll be in Salt Lake City. I think we're probably going to go to the Utah Museum of Natural History, NHMU, Natural History Museum of Utah in Salt Lake City. That is going to be incredible. One of the most beautiful dinosaur museums in the country. So I hope you will join us for that.
Thank you, everybody, for the kind words, and thank you all for the support today. It
really
makes
appreciate
this trip
it,
able to happen so we can stream from museums live for you guys. That's what it's all about. We want to take you guys around the country with us, and that's what we're trying to do. So we really appreciate you guys and all your support, and we will definitely be getting our pressed penny Java.
Yeah, absolutely, yes. Without further ado, let's go ahead and... Do I have to put the @ first? Or is it just the name?
/raid @.
Okay. Okay. And that is a channel intended for mature audiences. I hope you're all okay with that. But yeah. Anyway, everybody, show them what a good old-fashioned paleontologizing raid looks like. Use those dinosaur emotes.
Random Bug, it looks like we might have missed a notification from you. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Yeah.
Really appreciate that. Thank you, Random Bug.
Whatever happened, we appreciate you.
I appreciate you. Thank you very, very much. Without further ado, let's go ahead and say hi to Demon Machine and catch you guys tomorrow. All right, bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. All right, we are officially rated.
Cool.
Party of 100, nice.
Let's see here. I'll go ahead and end the stream on RTMP server.